Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So the previous video, we talked about the integrative doctor and how he referred me to an endocrinologist. He was concerned with my prolactin levels that I could have a pituitary tumor. So he referred me to the endocrinologist, and that was in September of 2018. But unfortunately, the endocrinologist was extremely busy and they couldn't get me in until February of 2019. That was actually the soonest available that they had for a new patient. So I went to him in February of 2019 and, showed him my levels and kind of explained the situation. And he actually retested my prolactin levels as well as a few other tests. And interesting enough, my levels had increased quite a bit. So like I said, the last time I had it checked, it was 31.3, I believe. And then that was with my OBGYN back in May of 2018. So May of 2018 was the last time I had it checked. And so now we're back to February of 2019. So not quite a year, but, and at that point my level was 51.6. So after he had checked it, I was extremely concerned because I was like, wow, like it's increased that much. So then I really thought I must have a pituitary tumor, because what else would make it increase like that? And they say that medications can raise your prolactin levels, but I wasn't taking any medications other than just vitamins and a prenatal. So at the time, that really was the only possible cause was a pituitary tumor. So anyways, they made the appointment for my MRI, and he kind of, just explained that they would do the scan and then that we would go over the results after the scan. So I went to the hospital and they checked me in. I filled out the paperwork. They took me back and made me put on one of those hospital gowns that they put on people with the wristbands and stuff. And they brought me into this room. And the only way that I can describe what the room was like, it kind of almost reminds me of like an interrogation room, because it had windows, a few windows to where you could see into the room where the actual MRI machine was. And they had computers and stuff set up in there to where they monitor, they run the machine from in there and they monitor and can watch the scan. And they asked me, they said, was there any kind of music that you like to listen to? And I said, would you have any kind of like meditative music? And so they found some calming music for me and gave me some headphones and kind of explained the process of that they were only going to be scanning my brain, just my head to my shoulders, because of my pituitary. There's no need to scan my entire body if all they're trying to check is my pituitary. So they explained, you're going to have to lie very still. If you move, we're going to have to repeat the scan. And so it definitely took longer than I expected. And having to lie your head still, like just frozen, I was just like, I don't want to mess it up. But they were talking to me, kind of walking me through the process, like, okay, we'll count it down, we'll let you know, and then they're going to put the music on. And all I have to say is, if you do an MRI, do not pick really calm, quiet music, because the machine is very loud. And so, it's almost like a hammering sound. And so I'm sitting there trying to just like meditate and relax. And in the moment of me lying there, I was thinking to myself, man, why did I not pick some kind of like rock and roll or something? But it was my first MRI, so I had no idea. So if you have to get an MRI, that is my only advice, is if they offer you music, choose something that's going to distract you from the loud banging that the machine makes. I left and got dressed, and they said, my doctor would go over the results with me. So I went back in with him. He sat me down and he said, well, based on the scans, we're not seeing any kind of tumor on your pituitary. So they didn't really give me an explanation of why. I'm not taking any medication. I wasn't taking any medications, and I I didn't have a tumor that they could see. And so there wasn't really a definite, well, it was pretty much, we don't know. We don't know why your levels are elevated. So the only solution that they had for me, since I couldn't have surgery, they can't perform surgery on something they can't see, was to take medication. So they prescribed Cabergoline to me, which was this teeny tiny pill that I would just take once a week. And then they started monitoring my levels, and it brought my levels down. And so I was very disappointed that I didn't feel like it was solving the problem. It wasn't fixing, okay, well, the medication, yes, it does fix the levels from being so high, but it's not actually fixing the issue. So I was kind of upset about that, I guess, not that I wanted to have a pituitary tumor, because I definitely did not want to have brain surgery, but I was also thought that was the reason. I was like, well, my prolactin levels, surely that's why I'm not getting pregnant. And so after I started taking this medication, my levels looked great. And we're like, well, we're just going to keep trying on our own, because like every time we have tried something new, we have kind of looked at it as like, oh, it's a fresh start. Like maybe this was the solution. And so after the endocrinologist, of course, I'm not going to go much farther into that because that'll be the next video. But after the endocrinologist, I actually went back to my OBGYN, and I'll cover that in the next video, to just kind of talk about like the further investigation that we did, because I just wasn't quite ready yet to go to a fertility specialist. I felt like there was more that we could find out before going to a clinic. Like I said, most fertility clinics, they bill it under fertility, and so insurance doesn't cover anything. And so I felt that it was most cost effective to try to just exhaust my options, find out, well, what in my body is not working? How can we correct that? And then, if we get to that point, we have tried everything that we can try, then, we'll go to the fertility specialist. So the next video will be talking about my OBGYN, going back to her and having some additional things done, discussion with her. So I'll talk about that next time, and thanks so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll try my best to answer them, but I appreciate you following along, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.